Hey guys, what's up? Ricky here with you guys for day number 3 of Everyday Faith. And we have a scripture today from Ephesians chapter 4, verses 30 and 31. Paul wrote this. He says, "Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. Instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you." It says this: positivity is not just about the good things we focus on, but it's also about what things we remove from our lives. Let me say that again. Positivity is not just about the good things we focus on, but it's also about what things we remove from our lives. We often believe there is only one choice or one way to respond to the circumstances of life. When we get angry or upset, it's because something called us or caused us to get angry or upset. Or when we have ill feelings toward another person, it's because they did something to deserve it. But Ephesians 4:30 and 31 tells us that there is always another side. We're instructed to get rid of anger, rage, and evil, and instead put on the likes of kindness, tenderheartedness, and forgiveness. We're told we have a choice, and it's because we do. Positivity is always a choice, and we can't expect to be filled with positivity if we continue to allow things such as bitterness, slander, and the other items mentioned in verse 30 to have dominion in our lives. Now, this is really good, especially coming off the heels of yesterday's devotional, because if you remember, yesterday was about focusing our attention on things that are noble, honorable, admirable, excellent, worthy of praise, as Paul wrote in Philippians 4:8. And today we're talking about the things that we ought to remove from our lives. You know, here's the reality. Positivity and negativity are competing forces. And so you can't be a positive person. You can't, commit to positivity if you're encroaching or allowing negative things to encroach your life. And there's a lot of different, applications for this. There's a lot of simple things that, or steps that you could take to remove negativity. But I want to speak first to the reality that, sometimes we let things dwell and exist within us. Vitriol, anger, hatred, bitterness, jealousy, envy, lust, all these different things. We'll allow those things to reside within us. And then we wonder and we struggle with, well, why do I feel down? Or why do I feel discouraged? Or why do I feel sad? Or why do I feel negative? Or everything's so bad? And it's that we have to we have to be committed to removing those things from our lives, as Paul wrote about here. And the thing is, we have a choice. We have a choice whether we don't have a choice about what happens to us or what we get to experience in all circumstances, but we do have a choice about what we allow to dwell within our spirits and within our being. And so we have to remove these negative things. If you imagine you have a limited space, it's easy for me to envision. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment in New York City, which is not very big. In fact, many of you with a small house would have a much larger living space than I have here in this apartment. And so because we live in this, limited space apartment, we don't have extra closets, we don't have an attic, we don't have a basement. And so we have to determine what type of items, what furniture pieces, what clothing, what shoes, what items we want to keep in our possession in our apartment, because we don't have unlimited space. And so sometimes if we're going to get something new to furnish our apartment or something new to put in our apartment, it requires that we have to get rid of something else. And spiritually, it's no different. If you want to live a life of positivity, if you want to be fueled by the positivity that comes from the hope you have in Jesus, it's going to require that you too remove those things from your life that are occupying space and prohibiting positivity from permeating your life. And so I want to encourage you today, to think through, what is it that's occupying your heart? What is it that's occupying your mind? What is it that's occupying your spirit? And is it what we talked about yesterday in Philippians 4:8? And if it's not, then surrender it to God, yield it, and ask God to remove it from your lives. Be proactive in not letting it back into your life. And that way, God and Jesus can fill your life with the positive things He has for you. I hope this helps. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that encourages you today. So we'll be back tomorrow with day number 4, and I'll see you guys then.